Analysis machine. Open file 8. Authorization code CHA.
Recognize. Sakura Haruno's data is being transferred. Warning. Internet rage is imminent.
I ain't afraid of no Sakura Sims.
Noted. Loading title card.
Hey guys, this is D Reaper, and today we're doing a character analysis on Sakura Haruno. Now, Sakura is one of the most polarizing characters in anime. Whether you love her or hate her, you'd probably agree that you've heard a lot of support for either side of the aisle. I'll admit, Sakura is far from my favorite character in Naruto. Even so, I think a lot of the hate that this character gets is just people jumping on the hate bandwagon. This blind hate is only balanced by the Sakura Sims, willing to turn a blind eye to all of Sakura's misdeeds. Today, as we discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of this character, we'll discuss the strongest views on both sides, and hopefully come to the conclusion of why I believe people dislike Sakura. And for the hardcore Sakura fans, all I ask is that you watch the video with an open mind before the antagonistic tirade in the comment section.
You know this will not be enough to deter them.
Well, no one can say that we didn't try. And with that noted, we've got a lot to cover, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. We get introduced to Sakura in episode 3 of Naruto, and to be frank, as far as character introductions go, hers is pretty rough. Sakura is loud, over the top, self-centered, bratty. Honestly, I could go on, but we can probably sum this up in 2 words.
You're annoying.
But Reaper, can't you use a lot of those words to describe Naruto? Yes, you absolutely can. At the start of the series, Naruto is portrayed as loud, obnoxious, and annoying, a regular troublemaker through and through. But we almost immediately get a very intelligible, and to many relatable explanation to Naruto's behavior. He's loud because he's lonely, he's boastful because there's no one else to encourage him, and he acts out because sometimes it feels better to be seen for something negative than to not be seen at all. Though the two display similar behavior in some ways, Naruto's behavior can easily be explained by his circumstance. But since Sakura doesn't have such an explanation, it seems to equate that her natural state is borderline unpleasant.
Annoying because he wasn't raised right. He doesn't have a mother or father, no one to teach him right from wrong. Think about it. He just does whatever comes into his head. Selfish and bratty. He's all alone.
When the team gives their motivation in the next episode, Sakura's entire motivation is, well, Sasuke. And though her behavior is extremely childish, it's not uncommon for a teenage girl to be consumed by her infatuation with a cool boy at school. The biggest issue here is how she measures up to her teammates, and to put it short, she doesn't. In the exchange, Naruto is relatable and determined. Sasuke is cool and driven, Kakashi is mysterious, and Sakura, well, she has a crush on Sasuke. And she's mean to Naruto. During the bell test, Sakura has the least impressive performance on the field. Even though Kakashi easily no-diffs both Naruto and Sasuke, he still acknowledges them as somewhat impressive, while Sakura, well, just gets beat. Hopping over to the Land of Waves arc, when the team is on their first serious mission, when the Demon Brothers attack, Sakura places herself between her charge and the threat. This is quite brave for Sakura, given her displayed skill level. However, it's Sasuke that shines here, as he holds back both brothers himself, until Kakashi intervenes. Later on in the arc, while the group is working on mastering chakra control, we see that Sakura is much more proficient with chakra control than Naruto and Sasuke. Further into the arc, but Reaper, none of what you're talking about is even a big deal. I can neither confirm nor deny that statement. You're just gonna have to trust the process for now. Back to what I was saying. At the end of the arc, while the others are fighting Zabuza and Haku, Sakura hangs back to protect the bridge builder. There's actually a lot that goes on here in the aftermath of the battle, and it's easy to gloss over it if you're not paying attention. But fear not, that's what analysis is for. When it looks like Sasuke was killed by Haku, Sakura blows past Naruto to be at Sasuke's side. And here we see Sakura really is about that life. The only motivation Sakura has disclosed is being with Sasuke, but here the boy she's infatuated with is lying and they are presumed dead. Her heart is broken and she doesn't shed a single tear, because that's not how a ninja conducts themselves. It's only after the guy cutting the check gives her permission that she allows herself to cry for Sasuke. It's the first definitive character moment for Sakura, and a lot of people gloss over it, and I think it's noteworthy that she was able to stay composed if necessary, while even veteran ninja weren't able to. Sakura gets another big character moment in the Chunin exams. While taking the written portion of the exams, we see Sakura isn't just smart, she's super genius smart. At least when it comes to hitting the books. This actually ends up working against her, as she incorrectly assumes only the smartest students in the class, like herself and Sasuke, should be able to answer the questions. But Sasuke comments that he can't understand a single thing on the paper, because she underestimates her own brilliance. Sakura doesn't realize the exam's main objective is to cheat, and believes it will come down to whether or not she and Sasuke can score high enough to bring up Naruto's presumably bad grade. But when the 10th question is revealed, we see a different side of Sakura. One we certainly haven't seen before. When the consequences of missing the 10th question are declared to be forfeiting the right to any future promotions in your ninja career, Sakura thinks of Naruto's dream, even acknowledging it's the only thing he has to hold on to. She makes peace with the fact that Naruto cannot afford to take that risk, and even inwardly urges him to do what's best for himself. Taking it further, when she believes Naruto remains silent for the sake of his pride, Sakura is willing to be that sacrifice. This not only shows a great deal of compassion, but also selflessness. After all, Sasuke certainly wouldn't be happy about being forced to forfeit the exams, but her showing this level of care and self-sacrifice for a teammate that isn't Sasuke is a big step for Sakura's growth as a character. But you'll have another major one very soon. During the practical portion of the Chunin exam, Orochimaru's attack puts Naruto and Sasuke out of commission. Immediately after he departs, Sakura starts calling for Naruto's help. She does this in spite of witnessing Orochimaru beat the brakes off him mere moments ago.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Even this early in the series, Naruto already established himself as someone you can turn to in dire situations. And without realizing it, Sakura began subconsciously relying on both Naruto and Sasuke whenever things got dicey. She's forced into the reality that she's going to have to step up in order to carry them for a change. And Sakura does give it her best effort, but unfortunately her best efforts are as child's play, as Sakura needs to be saved by Lee. Even as the fight commences and she hears the taunting of the Sound Ninja, Sakura is realizing more and more that she's been more of a burden than an asset to those around her. She was also become stronger as she does the whole hair cutting thing, which was already cliched 20 years ago. Wait, how old is this? How old am I?
Mind the runtime.
Right. Anyway, cliches aside, I do like this for Sakura. No, it's not because I think she looks better with short hair, and no, it's not because she gets beat up. And no, I didn't expect Sakura to win this fight for the team. If the Sound Trio are strong enough to press Rock Lee, even at 3v1, there's no logical way Sakura is going to win here, unless it's about to be revealed that she has some type of super secret ultra powerful Genkai. But Sakura does display a fierce tenacity to protect her friends. So fearsome in fact that it unnerves some of her assailants. Between the two of them, they are able to keep the Sound Ninja busy until more backup arrives, and eventually Sasuke wakes up and, well, handles business. But Sakura's work isn't done. She brings Sasuke back from the brink when he's being taken over by the will of the Curse Mark. In the immediate aftermath, we can see how much this experience has changed Sakura. She stands up for Lee, and even tries to mitigate the gravity of the effort she endured to keep her teammates safe, glossing over why she looks so beat up and telling Naruto she cut her hair so it wouldn't be a bother while traveling in the forest. It's even more impactful because when she dozed off while watching over them, Sakura had a short dream where Naruto and Sasuke woke up and were grateful that she had taken care of them. Even Ino, who has the most history with Sakura, is astonished by how much she's grown, and anyone watching would think that this moment would be a major turning point in Sakura's character. And I do partially agree, it is a turning point, just not one with major results. Later on, we see Sakura participate in one of the most lackluster fights in the series. It's disappointing to witness because after Sakura realizes how much she's been relying on Naruto and Sasuke, you'd think she would immediately start working on strategies she could utilize to mitigate that issue, and she honestly gets really lucky. Sakura and Ino are probably the weakest combatants to make it to this stage in the exam. But Ino proved to be stronger, smarter, and more tactical in battle. Even while Ino was holding back for close to half of the fight, Sakura only just barely managed to stalemate her, because... I don't know. We never do get an explanation to what exactly this is. All in all, it's quite disappointing to see, but since it's so close chronologically to her alleged turning point, I think it's fair to give her a pass. The Chunin exam fights got pretty brutal, and several of the participants would suffer long-term injuries. When Sakura goes to the flower shop before going to visit Sasuke in the hospital, she asks for a second flower. Ino immediately starts to chastise her about trying to impress Sasuke. This might have been true in the past, but Sakura reveals the second flower is for Lee. This comes as a bit of a shock to Ino, as she has to remind herself how much Sakura has changed. Sakura doesn't get another big character moment until the prelude to the Sasuke retrieval arc, but I do have to mention the scene of Sakura delivering flowers to Lee before his operation. This is probably my favorite scene with Sakura, and nomination for my top 10 most wholesome scenes in the entire series. So while Sasuke is recovering in the hospital, the trio is hanging out doing their usual thing, but Sasuke's not having it today. He smacks the apple Sakura is peeling for him out of her hand and challenges Naruto to a fight. Now Sasuke being moody isn't exactly an uncommon thing, but Sakura feels this is different. Her intuition is correct, because what seems to be an impromptu sparring match devolves into a no-holds brawl and escalates to the two actually trying to seriously harm each other. Sakura's pleading for them to stop falls on deaf ears, but thankfully Kakashi arrives in time to stop them, because if she had been the one who stepped between these two, well, the character analysis would be over. Sakura is so shaken by what she witnessed, all she can do is cry. Well, I guess once the floodgates are open, Kakashi tells her not to worry about it, but she ends up not taking his advice. She takes out in front of the village gate, and wouldn't you know it, here comes Sasuke, preparing to make an exit. I don't know why there's no one watching the gate, but it's an analysis on Sakura, not village security. So Sakura tries to convince him not to go. She officially confesses her feelings to him, and even asks him to take her with him if there's no other way. But we know how that went. So as the boys are gearing up for the Sasuke retrieval mission, Sakura shows up ugly crying, and begs Naruto to bring Sasuke back to her, a promise that Naruto swears on his life to complete. We next see Sakura in a rush at the hospital, as word is out those sent on the Sasuke retrieval mission have returned, though details seem to be scarce, as Sakura as of now is unsure if Sasuke is currently in the village.
I just thought I'd look in on Naruto, and Sasuke if he's there.
We see by both her and Ino's reaction that it's at least known that several of the members are pretty badly injured. When Sakura goes up to Naruto's hospital room, she overhears Naruto talking with Shikamaru, and learns that the mission was not successful. Sasuke did not return to the village. Sakura is absolutely crushed. Though she mentions it as an afterthought to Ino, it seems the thought of Sasuke not actually being there had never registered as an actual outcome. In a sense, this shows how much faith she has in Naruto. It seems Sakura is so heartbroken she considers leaving the hospital, but Tsunade catches her at the front door, and it seems Sakura enters the room partially out of obligation. When Sakura enters, no one really knows what to say. Naruto knew he'd have to face her eventually, but he wasn't prepared for her sudden entrance. He begins trying to tell Sakura not to worry. He still intends to keep the promise because he knows how serious it was, but Sakura talks over him. She tries to minimize the situation by saying it wasn't that big of a deal, and that she barely remembers what she said. She goes on to tease Naruto about going in half-cocked. He must have been careless to get injured so badly, and even starts going on about the weather and decorum. No one is buying Sakura's attitude. Shikamaru even tries to interject, telling her to stop it because Naruto did everything he could. But it's not until she sees the fire of Naruto's conviction that she actually appears satisfied, and thanks him internally. Okay, halftime. Analysis machine, can you give us a countdown? Maybe 6 minutes?
Your allotted time has begun.
I know this video is a bit longer than our usual format, so if you're not much for long videos, we appreciate you sticking with us so far. You can probably get a decent read on our conclusion by the time the timer expires, so hang with us a bit longer, and when the clock reaches 0, you can consider yourself dismissed. And thank you for watching. For those of you who get a bit antsy on longer videos, grab a snack, refresh your drink, and hurry back. And for our analysis enthusiasts and true believers, lock in, it's time we go to work. By this point in the story, a large number of fans have already formed a negative opinion on Sakura that will carry to the end of the series. But Reaper, you haven't even shown us anything that negative! But sometimes it's the things that you don't see that makes the biggest impact. Let Reaper explain. You can boil down most of Sakura's offenses into 3 broad categories. The first is Sakura is boring. We already talked about her lackluster motivation, and though this alone isn't enough to kill a character outright, it can be a heavy hit to even a character that's relatively well fleshed out. But to emphasize the fact that Sakura is boring, we can compare her to her teammates in the Land of Waves arc. Naruto stabs himself in the hand and makes an oath of pain. He teams up with Sasuke to brilliantly outsmart Zabuza, and he goes complete beast mode in the fight with Haku. Sasuke takes on both the Demon Brothers solo. He unlocks a very special visual prowess and becomes skilled enough to keep up with Haku. He even sacrifices himself to protect a friend. Kakashi reveals a special eye, giving him a mysterious link to Sasuke's clan. He floods half of forest with his jutsu, uses a unique technique that terrifies the enemy, and starts ragdolling Zabuza when he gets pissed off. And Sakura cries. Unfortunately for her, she shares proximity with some very interesting characters, and in terms of power, being compelling, interesting, and unique, she simply doesn't measure up. Sakura's second offense is she doesn't have any payoffs. Typically, when a character has noteworthy skills or traits, it's something that will end up paying off in the future. This doesn't necessarily have to be some grandiose ability that ends up saving the day, but it typically has some relevance that helps build the character or further the story. Otherwise, why mention it at all? Sakura doesn't really have that, and all we have to do is look at the very instances that we have already referenced. In the Land of Wave arc, we found out Sakura has an advanced level of chakra control, and nothing came out of it. During the Chunin exams, we learned Sakura is essentially a genius, and nothing came out of it. In the Forest of Death, we see Sakura's resolve to become a more capable ninja, and, well, are you starting to get the picture? It's made worse because we get all these episodes. Sakura blossoms, Sakura's determination, Sakura's resolve, Sakura's new groove, and after all these episodes centered around Sakura's growth, we don't really see anything come of it. Sakura's third categorical offense is how Sakura treats Naruto. But Reaper, Sakura doesn't love Naruto, she loves me! Yeah, okay, wait, what? Wait a minute, you're no heckler. You're a Sakura simp, aren't you? Analysis machine, fire Annihilator Kanon.
Target confirmed. Target has been removed from existence.
Do you think we went a bit overboard?
Do not pity the Sakura simps. As stated, they cannot be reasoned with. Their existence is that of self-deception and pain.
Well, I guess you're right. Well, in memory of Sakura Simp 239, let's elaborate a bit more. It's true Sakura doesn't have romantic feelings for Naruto, but Naruto is supposed to be her friend, and I go as far as to say her best friend by series end. Despite this, Sakura treats Naruto terribly, and it's not just the fact that she's always smacking him around, she insults him just as much, if not more, calling him stupid, weak, and annoying. All of this would be a lot easier to excuse if she wasn't saying these things while Naruto was currently proving himself to be stronger, more resourceful, and less annoying than she is, but it's certainly not the case. In one scene, she's completely beside herself when she has to admit to herself that Naruto is a much bigger asset to the team than she is. Now, before the hecklers chime in, let me emphasize, Reaper is not saying Sakura is never nice to Naruto, but it does seem that there's just as much bad as there is good. It's great that Sakura does nice gestures for Lee, and I would love to see more of that side of Sakura, but Lee helped Sakura out of a jam once. Naruto did it, well, the rest of the time. And still, it seems she does do something nice for Naruto, it's an afterthought. Forget romantic feelings, it's called being a good friend, or at least being able to show gratitude. Or to sum it up, Sakura isn't a very good friend. Not consistently anyway. We can see it in the last scene we analyzed at the hospital. It's clear Sakura is going through a lot when she hears the news, but register that Naruto is probably going through the same thing, if not worse. The guy's best friend tried to kill him, and now he's laid up in the hospital cosplaying as Mu, and has to admit to the girl that he has feelings for that in spite of his best efforts and pushing past all his limits, he still failed. Would it be so hard for her to be the one who encourages him for a change? Maybe that's what she was trying to do by teasing him and talking about the weather, but if that's so, she failed miserably. What if instead of trying to make light of this situation, she'd given Naruto a hug and said, "I'm glad you made it back"? Or if she held his hand to stop him from talking and said, "You don't have to be strong for me, Naruto, I know it hurts." Anything to acknowledge that he was going through just as much as she was, but she didn't do any of that.
Notice your allotted time is about to expire.
Thank you, Analysis Machine. So, there you have it. People typically hate Sakura because of one of these three categories. As I hope we've displayed, there is some justification to that. By right, we could end the video here and make a part 2 later, but I think in order to get the most out of this analysis, it's best to see the parallels of Sakura and Naruto Shippuden back to back. So once again, thank you for watching Short Attention Span Crew. Don't forget to like the video and bookmark it so you can find it later. And we'll see you all in the next one. Everyone else, let's dive into part 2. After Naruto returns from his training with Jiraiya, he and Sakura are almost immediately sent to spar against Kakashi. And though the two are still no match for him, it's clear that Sakura has grown exponentially as a fighter. In fact, I'd go as far as to say out of the three, Sakura has grown the most. Though it's true Sasuke's growth is described as downright unnatural, even so, he was no slouch before, so there was a lot to work with. Sakura went from basically being wall decor in a fight to being someone who Kakashi can't take lightly if she has backup, and that's a pretty insane power up. So it's clear from the start that a lot has changed with Sakura, but it doesn't take long for us to see that not everything has. To celebrate their win over Kakashi and his return to the village, Naruto invites Sakura out for some ramen to catch up. But once she finds out Naruto's broke, she leaves him high and dry. We learn this because when Naruto goes to Ichiraku Ramen, Old Man Taiuchi hooks him up with a free plate. After which, Naruto laments that if he'd known the meal would have been free of charge, maybe Sakura would have eaten with him. The worst part about this scene is, it isn't even played off for laughs. We see that Naruto's really hurt by the fact that Sakura isn't with him, and we can only imagine what all's going through his head. Maybe we'll revisit this later, but let's check in on Sakura. This is her review after all. Well, while Naruto's down in the dumps, Sakura's happily chowing down on desserts. She manages to spare a thought for Naruto, thinking maybe she could have let him treat her to half a bowl of ramen. She gets over it a second later though, and continues enjoying her snack. And the issue is not that she doesn't think of Naruto at all, it's that it's more of an afterthought, same as before. Oh yeah, Naruto was actually the one who saved me from those sound ninja. Maybe he deserves some treats too. Or, oh right, Naruto was shot in the back 6 times. Maybe if I have enough money, I can buy him a get well soon card. The effort just seems to be lacking. Here's the thing, I can't even imagine treating an acquaintance this way, but Naruto's supposed to be her best friend. Naruto's been gone for over 2 years. Keep in mind, they kept this training covert because of possible Akatsuki encounters, so no one even knows where exactly they've been all this time. You'd think Sakura would be curious to know details of everything that has been going on with him over the past 2 years, or else eager to share her own life changes with him, or maybe even display some excitement to show Naruto what has changed in the village in his absence. But none of that. Her best friend rolls into town after being gone for 2 years, and Sakura's like, nice to see you. Well, I'll probably see you at work or something. It's kind of messed up. Sooner than anyone anticipates, the crew is sent on an urgent mission to save the Kazekage, kicking off the Kazekage rescue arc. This arc is peak Sakura, and most substantial pro-Sakura defenses will tie back to her performance here. By the time the gang arrives in the Sand Village, Kankuro is knocking on death's door. It's pretty much confirmed there's nothing anyone can do for him, save leave him to a slow and agonizing death. But Sakura has something to say about that. Naruto and likely the viewers are in awe as Sakura enters the hospital like she owns it, starts giving orders, and essentially does what is perceived as impossible by the entire village, saving Kankuro's life. The whole village is in awe of Sakura, describing her as the second coming of the Slug Princess, but Sakura just says it's all in a day's work. Shortly after this, Sakura teams up with Granny Chiyo for easily the best fight in Shippuden at this time. You can say that Granny Chiyo carried, you can say that they were the perfect counter for Sasori, and you can say Sasori pulled back at the last second, allowing himself to be killed. Most of that is true, but facts are facts. And the fact is, Sakura played a very active and important role in winning this incredible fight against Sasori. Let Reaper note here that this is the first time we saw an Akatsuki member be defeated, but combat ability aside, just being with Sakura reinvigorated Granny Chiyo's will to live. Without inflating this already extensive analysis, Granny Chiyo had all but given up on life. She lost faith in people, the world, and even her own usefulness. But a young shinobi, from another village no less, threw herself in front of a blade to save her life. Granny Chiyo is absolutely dumbfounded. Why would anyone even consider doing such a thing? But Sakura just asks her if she's okay and if she can still move.
Lady Chiyo, how are you holding up? Can you still move?
This drastically boosts Chiyo's fighting spirit, as she was all but resolved to die here, and the two begin pushing back against Sasori. Sakura is really batting 10 for 10 this arc, but all good things must come to end, and we see the other foot fall in the Tenchi bridge arc, and we can start with Sakura hitting Sai. This seems like an over-the-top reaction, and Reaper will explain why. Sai is brand new to the team, and he and Naruto have been at each other's throats for the past 2 days or so. This is because Sai's constantly making rude or demeaning comments about Naruto. Given his personality, Naruto quickly gets riled up and is ready to fight, but Sai implies this scenario won't go well for him, which only makes Naruto angrier. It's during one of these back and forths when Naruto says something that would be extremely hurtful to Mo, that Sai will never be a true part of their team, and he's nothing but a stand-in for Sasuke. But Sai declares he would never want to be a replacement for someone who betrayed their village and joined Orochimaru, and that Sasuke was nothing more than a treacherous cockroach. This results in Sakura punching Sai in the face, sending him flying. She remarks if he says anything else negative about Sasuke, he'll get much worse, and she means it. Sakura is furious, and from this we can conclude that Sakura can listen to someone badmouth Naruto all day long without flinching, but any talk casting negative light on Sasuke is unacceptable.
I don't care one bit. If you forgive me, you don't know a thing about Sasuke. I won't stand for you talking as if you do. Just keep bad-mouthing him, and next time, I won't hold back.
Sakura's actions here are more than slightly hypocritical. They are also illogical. If you omit the very specific cockroach statement from Sai's speech, everything he said about Sasuke was fact. He did betray the Leaf Village by joining Orochimaru, who was a terrorist that launched a major attack against the village a mere 2 years ago, one that led to the death of the village's current leader at the time. No one in the village should aspire to be someone like that. Her combat performance is far less impressive than in the previous arc. When Naruto sends Kabuto flying, Sakura gets clipped by him and is knocked unconscious, while both her teammates are able to dodge. To be fair, Sakura is the closest one to said human projectile, so she would have the least amount of time to dodge. But it's still not a great look when Kabuto, who goes skipping across the ground like a stone and chops down at least one tree with his body, is able to shake it off and return to the front lines, while Sakura takes much longer to recover. As things at the bridge continue to get out of hand, we see how concerned Sakura is about Naruto, and when Naruto in four-tailed cloak form is sent flying and lands in close proximity to them, Sakura is left speechless at the sight of him. Can this creature really be what Naruto has become? She has to be pushed aside from another deadly attack, but this time it's because she's in shock, not because she's slow. When Kabuto starts giving a mock lamentation of Naruto's tragic descent from a boy into a beast, all for the sake of saving Sasuke, Sakura is shook. She remembers all the times Naruto pushed his own feelings aside to reassure her of the promise he made to bring Sasuke back, and she begins to connect dots that she might have played a role in this transformation. This form is a manifestation of all Naruto's hate, anger, grief, frustration, confusion, hopelessness, and more. Sakura begins to cry for her friend's pain and rushes towards him in spite of the potential danger. In desperation, she shouts to him, saying he doesn't have to worry about bringing Sasuke back, and that she'll do it herself. And I can appreciate what Sakura is trying to do here, but honestly I feel like this is an indication that Sakura doesn't really understand Naruto at all. Think about it for a sec. Do you think this is something that Naruto would want to hear? Well, whether you're picking up what we're putting down doesn't really matter, because Sakura's words can't reach Naruto where he is right. The monster swats Sakura like a fly, and for the second time in less than an hour, she's down for the count. When she comes to, Yamato is already in the process of exercising the Nine Tails. As soon as Naruto has his body back, Sakura rushes to him to heal his injuries. As she's doing so, she asks Yamato if he can teach her the jutsu he used to pacify Naruto, but she's disappointed when she learns only those with wood-style Kekkei can learn this technique. She confesses sorrowfully that it always ends up this way, that she can only do little things for Naruto that anyone else can do. But Yamato tells her the scale of the action is not important. What matters is how much she truly cares about Naruto. When Naruto wakes up, Sakura tries to protect Naruto by telling him the destruction and the injuries sustained were all done by Orochimaru. If you've been paying attention, you shouldn't be surprised because Sakura has done this several times before. Yamato forces a group ultimatum. The group will either have to leave Naruto behind or give up on catching Orochimaru, and in so doing, abandon the current search for Sasuke. We see that Sakura is extremely conflicted and unsure what to do, but Naruto takes the decision out of their hands, saying he can manage. Sakura is still worried and keeps a close eye on Naruto as they travel. So much so, she almost cries out when it looks like Naruto might hit a log while they're traveling through the forest, but Naruto ends up vaulting it. She probably should have saved some of that concern for herself, because when her wound from the Nine Tails flares up, she falls out of a tree and has to be saved by Yamato. Yamato suggests they take a short break so Sakura can recover. Sakura does try to protest, saying that she doesn't need special treatment. If they would have abandoned Naruto if he couldn't continue, she should get the same treatment. But Yamato breaks down the difference in party dynamics, essentially saying going into a dangerous fight with one less attacker is one thing, but going in without a white mage is a completely different level of reckless. When the team finally confronts Sasuke, Sakura is all but speechless for the second time this arc. In fact, at the part, Naruto momentarily gives in to his despair and starts sobbing, as he's internally registering that this is the second time he was too weak to bring Sasuke back. But this time Sakura speaks up. Through her tears, she says that there's no use crying about it since it won't help, and declares that they will both just have to work hard so they can bring him back next time. Several big events take place, but not so much that cause big ripples with Sakura, though it is important to mention that when the village is destroyed by pain and all hope seems lost, Sakura does what she's done in the past when things seem hopeless. She calls out for Naruto. Not Sasuke, not Kakashi, but Naruto. There's nothing rational about this action. Sakura should be one of the few people to know that Naruto is not in the village. Nevertheless, she calls out to him anyway, and he appears.
Warning. Highly controversial topic approaching. Would you like me to alter our flight path?
There's no point in conducting an in-depth analysis if we're gonna shy away from getting a little heat. Stay the course.
Understood. Rerouting excess power to heat shields.
That's the spirit. While the village is still in recovery from Pain's attack, envoys from the cloud show up looking for someone to answer for Sasuke's actions. Sasuke's notoriety has continued to increase. He's currently suspected of killing the Cloud Village Jinchuriki, who also happens to be the Rakage's brother. This results in Naruto offering himself up as tribute. After watching Naruto get beaten half to death, Sai says enough is enough and steps in. This ends Naruto's beating, but Naruto tells Sai to butt out of it. Not knowing what else to do, Sai approaches Sakura and goes in on her. He tells Sakura that though Naruto cares the most about her and Sasuke, they're the ones causing him the most pain. He also talks specifically about the promise Naruto made to her, and asks if she actually stopped to consider the fact that Naruto is willing to give his life to fulfill that promise. He then compares Sakura to a curse mark that's killing Naruto.
He's out of line, but he's right.
So here's why Sai's out of line. The situation between Sakura, Naruto, and Sasuke is very complex, and Sai doesn't understand complicated emotions, so he's speaking only from the best of his understanding, which he himself mentions is limited. And here's why Sai's correct. The promise that Naruto made to Sakura is extremely burdensome, and Sakura knows it. At least she did at Tenchi Bridge. That's why when Kabuto said it's pitiful how far Naruto has fallen in his efforts to reach Sasuke, Sakura was having flashbacks of him declaring that he had every intention of keeping the promise to bring Sasuke back. She's always expecting Naruto to do the impossible, and in her defense, he is good at that. But is it fair to keep heaping such large burdens on him? And in doing so, with this promise specifically, it's as if she's dismissed the idea that it might very well cost him his life. After all, a revelation like this is much less jarring when the stakes of the game are on full display. After the Tenchi Bridge mission, it probably would have been an appropriate time to revisit the topic of said promise. At the time, she called out to him in desperation, as she usually does, but being able to talk things out away from the stress of battle and with cool heads and calm minds would probably be beneficial for all parties. The reason I'm harping on this is because I'm just waiting on someone to say, "But Reaper, Naruto was going to bring Sasuke back regardless of the promise." Yes, that's correct, you absolute cretin. It's possible for two things to be true at the same time. So yes, Naruto would be trying to bring Sasuke back regardless, and also yes, the promise he made to Sakura is extremely burdensome and caused Naruto a great deal of pain. Even if you want to ignore Sakura's inner thoughts connecting the dots, we can just look at what happened to Naruto when Itachi placed him under Genjutsu. Itachi doesn't know Naruto personally. He probably wouldn't be able to puppeteer every detail of what was said while Naruto was under the Genjutsu, but it seems the way that the Genjutsu works is that Naruto would be tormented by the phantoms of his greatest insecurities. And yes, you guessed it, Sakura was right there, accusing him of breaking his promise and saying that she was stupid to put her trust in him. So we can conclude, at least on a subconscious level, Naruto believes Sakura might resent him for not keeping his promise. But even if that's not enough proof for you, we can go back to what started this conversation in the first place. Sai is not too experienced with understanding emotions, so he asks Naruto outright why he doesn't tell Sakura that he loves her. And Naruto responds that he feels unworthy of Sakura because he couldn't even keep his promise to her. Looking at the evidence, we can see that Naruto really believes that this is a major impact of how Sakura sees him, and suddenly we have a much more impactful explanation on Naruto's disposition when Sakura turned him down for ramen when he returned to the Leaf Village. And if you need even more proof, then you're just gonna have to request a video for it in the comment section. We're already over time. Back to Sakura. Sakura starts crying after being cut by Sai's harsh words. Shikamaru enters the chat, saying that they all rely too heavily on Naruto, and thinks they need to settle this issue before a war breaks out between the Leaf and the Cloud. He wants to get Sakura's blessing to formulate a contingency plan for Sasuke, but Sakura speaks up. Though she can't bear to hear him say it out loud, she's willing to act. Sakura is very convicted here, knowing that she's put more on Naruto than anyone else, and claims that somehow she keeps messing things up.
I'm the one who caused Naruto the most pain. I'm always messing up. Just one failure after another. I don't want to make any more mistakes. I don't want to fail.
She tells the others that she wants to be the one to confront Naruto about the current situation with Sasuke, and she devises a plan, a very stupid plan, in order to remove the burden of the promise to bring Sasuke back and to shift the responsibility onto herself. Sakura intends to accomplish this with a simple 3-step plan. Step 1. Confess false feelings of love to Naruto. Step 2. Declare she no longer cares about Sasuke. Step 3. Kill Sasuke. As well thought out as this plan seems to be, it quickly begins to fall apart at step 1. Naruto might not be the brightest banana of the bunch, but he can easily tell that Sakura is not being genuine. Even so, she digs her heels in, insisting that she's telling the truth, and even tries to make Naruto feel bad for not believing what she's saying. Her peers that she dragged along think it might be time to change tactics, but Sakura persists, sure that she can win Naruto over. As Naruto becomes more angry, demanding Sakura tell him what this is really about, Sakura meets his unbelief with indignation and storms off with the others to proceed to step 3 of the plan. After Kiba tracks Sasuke for her, she drugs her companions and plans to take Sasuke on alone.
That's not very protagonistic.
She just has to hope Sasuke is easier to deceive than Naruto. However, the Sasuke she meets is downright ruthless, a steep drop from the last encounter. At the moment of truth, Sakura hesitates for a second and ends up with Sasuke nearly killing Sakura before she gets the chance. Fortunately, her guardian angel Naruto appears to save her from harm, and he ends up taking the poison kunai meant for Sasuke aimed at her. Before we move on, let's break this scenario down a little further, just so there's no misunderstanding. Sakura's actions here were not out of selfishness. After Sai confronted her, followed by Shikamaru, Sakura was emotional because she was realizing just how burdened Naruto is, not just by her, but by everyone, and she's disappointed in herself for needing someone else to point it out to her, which is why she remarks that she's always messing things up. Even though she's being torn apart inside, she's determined to bear the burden for Naruto for once. Or if you want to call back to the Tenchi Bridge arc, to handle one of the big things no one else can do for Naruto. Her intention was to hoist the responsibility of Sasuke off of Naruto's shoulders and be the bearer of that burden, which at this point means to be the one to kill Sasuke so Naruto won't have to. But before she can do that, she has to release Naruto from the shackles of his promise, because if Sasuke dies before that, Naruto will still believe that he failed. This is the purpose of step 1 and 2 of her plan, to be followed up by killing her love in cold blood so Naruto can keep his hands and his conscience clean. This is even more meaningful because Sakura is currently dealing with the loss of her mentor, and before Sai confronts her, she was just contemplating how she wished Tsunade was here for some guidance. Sakura is so sincere here, I wish I could let her slide with the formation and execution of her plan. But
wouldn't be doing my job
if I didn't tell it like it is. So here it goes. How on earth did someone who's supposed to be one of the smartest people in this world come up with such a stupid plan? It was so dumb she didn't even tell her teammates what the plan was. Also, there were 6 people there besides Sakura. Not one of them were fooled by her performance. Furthermore, it's like I said before, Sakura doesn't really understand Naruto if she believes that that's all it would take for him to give up on Sasuke. In addition, Sakura underestimates how much Naruto understands her, as he even stated in the conversation that he knows her better than she thinks he does. Then she starts gaslighting Naruto for, well, knowing her better than she thinks he does. Knocking out her teammates who trusted her even after her plane crashed and burned was pretty scummy, and thinking she could take out Sasuke alone was just delusional. These actions caused Naruto to have a panic attack, on top of everything else he was dealing with, and with it ending up that Sakura needed to be rescued by both Kakashi and Naruto respectively, which resulted in Naruto being poisoned, I do have to agree with her previous statement, Sakura is always messing things up. In the last arc, when Naruto falls in battle, Sakura keeps him alive by artificially pumping his heart and giving him mouth to mouth. As she's working, we hear internally how highly she regards Naruto. It's too bad she's never that kind to him when he's awake, and it's through her efforts, ninja magic, and plot armor that Naruto makes a full recovery. By series end, Sakura is still lacking behind her super OP teammates, and she spends most of the final battle of the war needing to be rescued. But even though she's the odd man out of this god-level fight against Kaguya, she still declares her presence is noteworthy, and I doubt there are any other mere mortals that can say that they landed a clean hit on Kaguya. After they return to their own dimension, Sakura gets one-shot by Sasuke. And that should bring a very thorough close to anyone who foolishly believes Sakura caught up to Naruto and Sasuke. It's not just being caught off guard either. If Sasuke thought that there was even a 1% chance he could take care of Naruto in a similar manner, he would have taken it. Even as self-assured as Sasuke is at this point, he knows Naruto's a filthy, snarling, junkyard dog. A fight against him is not gonna be easy. And finally, after Naruto and Sasuke's fight, Sakura keeps them both alive with her medical ninjutsu. Phew, that was a lot of data. So, to conclude, if you made it through the entire analysis and you still think Sakura is useless, I want you to grab a mirror and take a good look at yourself. You might be a hater! And for those of you who are paying attention the whole time and still think Sakura is a near flawless character, well, you're probably a Sakura-san.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
It's best to avoid extremes when you're taking an objective look at a character, but with the data we provided, you can clearly see many of Sakura's negative patterns persisted from one series to the next, including a lot of her big resolution moments not paying off, being consistently upstaged by her teammates, and her overall poor treatment of Naruto. With as much screen time as Sakura had, she really should have been a more influential figure in the series, but the sad truth is, this character peaked very early in the Shippuden series, and unlike a lot of the other characters who had their peaks early, Sakura had a lot more screen time to foster those expectations. And so it shouldn't be too surprising that a lot of people would dislike Sakura for ultimately being a big investment for a low payout. Even so, we highlighted Sakura does have compelling moments, noticeable growth, and a meaningful development over the course of the series. So whether you're a Sakura simp, a Sakura hater, or somewhere in between, I hope you appreciate the work we put into conducting our analysis, and if you like this type of long-form video, let us know in the comment section. We look forward to reading it. Personally, Reaper's hoping we can keep the conversation civil in the comment section, so if you guys can help us out with that, it would be greatly appreciated. And with that, I think it's time to bring this video to a close. My name is D Reaper, and I'm a YouTuber for fun. Today's challenge? Send someone a gratitude card. Good luck, and I'll see you all in the next one.